Greetings, this is White Raptor News Ministries. Looking at the title up here, President Obama mentions the human reptilian brain on the event. You know, it's really weird because I saw this thing, when it came out like freaking 15 years ago. And, I remember things like this. Remember I told you how I took this download and everything that was important was left for me to remember, and anything that was kind of shit, just I filtered through it and it doesn't exist anymore. I don't use any of that knowledge. So here we have President Obama talking about the reptilian mind, and I'm going to prove to you what it is.
Old enough to remember this movie, but in 1967, guess who's coming to dinner?
I was only 6.
I figured.
But
The rest of us remember
I do remember the movie.
Now, do you remember this?
He's smooth.
Please, he's the greatest ever. But he says to his father, "You think of yourself as a Negro man, and I think of myself as a man, and that's the difference." Is that still relevant today? I ask you, what are we? Who are we?
Well,
what are we? Who are we? Okay, this is how they put the truth right in front of you, man.
We are Americans. We share...
That's a lie. We're not Americans. We're English that came to America, slaughtered the Americans, and then called ourselves Americans. Let's get that very clear, folks. Okay, stop sugarcoating the shit.
Common hopes, we share common dreams, we share common aspirations. We're going through common struggles. I mean, the fact of the matter is that everybody here, and I look at this audience and it's representative of the country, everybody here is connected in some fashion.
Connected.
And our success and our children's success is tied up together. And so I think most Americans feel that way. Mm-hmm. But what is still true is that there's still kind of a reptilian side of our brain. Right?
A reptilian side of our brain. That's all you need to hear right there, man. There is a reptilian side of our brain. And I've been trying to share this with you and teach you guys that the war that takes place in the heavens. Give me 1 second here. So here, when we come to the etymology dictionary, you have cerebrum. Cerebrum is the brain. Okay. From pi, keres, from root, ker, horn, or head. I was like, horn. What's this horn? Why would they have horn here? The brain. Well, there's a part inside of the brain as well that is called the horn. And this is it right here. Give me a second. I got a lot of windows open. Right here. The temporal horn of the lateral ventricle. When Jesus says to the disciples, to the people, and he's telling them, this temple shall be destroyed and raised in 3 days. Your temporal horn right here. Everything that the Bible is talking about is about spiritual ascension. And I need you to understand that the slave masters are not teaching you spirituality. They're teaching you materialism. Okay? They've turned this right here, the cerebrum right here, the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Okay? They've turned this, which is the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? This is what your commandments are written on right here, is these. And they've turned these into this. Images of the 10 Commandments. Now, when Moses comes down off of Mount Sinai, after chatting it up with God for 40 days and 40 nights, he carries down with him 2 tablets. 2 tablets of stone. Pretty precious cargo, I would say. Wouldn't you? Okay. So this is what they've given you today for the 2 tablets of God. When This is what the two tablets of God are. The temple. So when the war takes place in heaven, the heaven is the heaved up place. The heaven is the high mind of the Most High, the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one. Well, I can't really even say that Source, the Spirit of Truth, is living, because to be living means that you got to be in a flesh suit. So it's quite possible that you can't even attach the word living to it. So when we come here to the etymology dictionary, you see that the cerebrum is the head. Okay, and this is where you get your, so here is what your ark is. The Ark of the Covenant. But this one little block right here, without this one block, everything tumbles down. All of it tumbles down. Every bit of it. All right? And what is this called? This is called the keystone. Keystone. The commandments are written on stones of tablets, are externalized for you when Moses comes down off the mountain. That's externalization. Now, we come to the etymology dictionary again and we type in cerebellum, because I'm telling you that this is the lower mind. Okay? The cerebellum, look at that. Hind brain. This is why these people like the behind, because they're really just, shells. They're empty shells. They have souls on them, but they don't have the spirit of truth on them. See, I'm trying to help you guys understand that when the Supreme Creator creates creation, when he creates the spiritual realm and the material realm hasn't yet been created, he creates spirits. He creates angels. He creates demons. He creates good angels, and he creates knowledge. Okay, people, we've heard all our lives say that Satan can't create anything. Well, when I say Satan, I think of mankind. Okay, because when you make these connections, what I'm trying to tell you is this is the hind brain, the cerebellum, and it is of a vertebrate animal. Okay, this is what I've been trying to teach you guys. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19, Bible Hub. Over here at the King James Bible on the left, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentile shall come from all ends of the earth and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, because I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you, I know everybody just hates to hear that they're not Americans. Everybody in my family hates they don't even answer the phone anymore. They don't answer my text messages. Nobody answers anything. They hate when I say that you're not American. Okay, you stole the country, which is called America, slaughtered the indigenous natives that lived here in this country, and then called yourselves Americans. Okay, you're not. You're English. You traveled across the ocean. You're from the other side of the pond. Okay? So the Gentiles will come to you and claim that lies, vanity, and things that won't profit us nothing. Vanities is of ourselves, and things whereas there is no profit, that is worshiping idols. Now, the reason why I wanted to read it on this side here is so not all of them have vanity. A lot of these only have the lies and the idols, things where there's no profit is unprofitable. But this one gives you the extra little word right here with vanity, and that means vanity of ourselves. But the Gentile is what I wanted to point out to you. Because the Gentile, look, the nations right here are the Goyim, rarely Goy, apparently from the same root as Javel, a foreign nation, hence a Gentile. A troop of animals or a flight of locusts. Images of Israel's army. That is your troop of animals. Okay? And folks, see that flag right there? Showed you this flag before. That there is a 6-sided hexagon in the middle, and it's a triangle within a triangle, which gives you 6 points, and then you have 6 triangles within the star. That star that's flying right there represents 666. And when I post this in comment sections, oh, the hate that comes out. You know why the hate comes out? Because of this parable right here, man. Genesis chapter 4. Genesis chapter 12, verse 4, Bible Hub. Give me 1 second. Right here. It's off. I said 12:4. It's 12:3. But it says here in 12:3, I will bless those who bless you. I will bless those Gentile that bless you, Israel. You and curse those who curse you. Bless you, and I will curse those that curse you. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through Israel. So Abram departed as the Lord, Yahweh, okay, God of Israel. Right there, I'm showing it to you. The proper name of God of Israel. Remember, I'm telling you that this Bible is hijacked from demons, and the demons have written themselves into the Bible. And everything I prove with the scriptures. I can't be touched. I can't be touched from anybody. Everybody flees from me. You remember that woman, Sonia Massey, who got shot in her home by rebuking Jesus in her name and rebuking those cops in Jesus Christ's name? Yeah, they shot her dead in her home. Now I bring you here to the hippocampus. And this is where the idiom comes from that says shooting from the hip, because the hippocampus is the part of the brain that retains memory. So if somebody goes into work unprepared, that's called shooting from the hip. You're shooting from your memory. All right? Now notice here, at this corpus callosum right here, that there's a chamber right in here. Okay? This chamber here is also known as a tomb. Okay? This is why they say when you're born into this world, you're born from the womb to the tomb, because this tomb here produces a life-giving oil, but yet they call this part of the brain the corpus. And corpus means dead. So they're telling you straight there in the World Health Organization that what we view as we live is dead. So this is the hippocampus. Okay? This is the horse that Jesus rides in on. You see how I've externalized it? They all have indoctrinated you with pictures like this. You see, this is indoctrination. So when people say angels, right away your first thought is your children, your beautiful children, your little angels. You know, so they say angels, and you got to understand that angels and demons are one in the same. Spirits, ghosts, seraphim, angels, demons are all underneath the same definition in the Islamic teachings. Okay? They're jinn. They're all jinn. And this is why we're called Gentiles. So they've indoctrinated us with pictures like this. So when we think of angels, we think of white, long, flowing robes and something with angels and this beautiful, brilliant aura about it that's coming around it. And you couldn't be any further from the truth. This is what you call externalization of the scriptures, okay? None of this shit's happening. It's all bullshit and lies. Religion is lying to you folks. Lied. L-I in both politics and religion is lie. Lied. Okay? So when you hear religion, showing this stuff, you guys to see it yourself. Type in Gian, what do you get? You get a goon. Religion are a bunch of goons. Okay? Back to Jeremiah 16:19, the nations, the goyams, okay? A foreign nation, troops of animals, flights of locusts, nations, images of the United Nations. These are your goyim right here. These are your Gentile nations. These are the rulers of the world. These are the people that the world was turned over to. The spiritual war, when the Creator creates spirits, both good and evil, in the spiritual realm. Okay? Now, a spirit, a soul, in the spiritual realm, kind of can't really learn anything. You exist. You're aware of your conscience. But without the material world, there's nothing to see. So these glands are they're externalizing everything. So now you have the hippocampus, is the white horse that Jesus rides in on. You have the 2 tablets of God, which is the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. You have the temporal lobes, which is where Jesus says, I'll tear this temple down and raise it in 3 days. Okay. He's talking about spiritual things that he's going to tear this temple down. The temple is the mind. Okay, it's part of the mind. It's part of the brain. So there's 193 nations that sit at the United Nations, and then there's 7 head angels. Well, hold on. What world are we in? If Satan was cast down with 1/3 of the stars from the hosts of heaven, Revelations 12:4, Bible Hub. I know I didn't say 40, Muttface. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars from the host, from the sky, tossing them to the earth, here, down here. Satan swept 1/3 of the stars from the sky. This is where you get your Hollywood stars, where you get your rock stars, where you get your porn stars. It's where you get your military stars. It's where you get your generals who wear stars. It's where you get your political stars. It's where you get all the freaking star worship. Because the devil swept with him 1/3 of the stars from the hosts of heaven, tossing them down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth. Who's the woman? That was ready to be devoured the child as soon as she gave birth. Who's the child? This is the star god. Jesus Christ, superstar. This is your star god. This is your Jesus Christ, superstar. So, Jesus Christ, superstar. So in the Bible, there's a parable that says, how did he ascend before he descended first? You see, when the spiritual realm was created, and then the Creator created the material world, created this plane of existence with everything that moved on the face of the earth, when he created that, the war hadn't taken place in heaven yet. Okay? So now we have evil spirits that are created in heaven. And they want all rule in God's kingdom. Satan's running around whispering in people's ears, and like people do down in here, like in this plane of existence. How it's exactly the same thing. That's what was going on in heaven. But when I say heaven, I'm talking about the high place, the high mind, the Ark of the Covenant, the temporal lobes, or not the temporal lobes, but the frontal lobe. Okay? So this is your Jesus Christ superstar. And this is, bro, this is all the stuff. They're showing you the truth. Okay? But people are not getting it. It's right in front of our faces. Let's go. Gematria calculator. Okay, and we are going to come here and type this one in. Okay, so I mentioned earlier about a chamber that's in our in our brain, and it's a hollow chamber, and it's considered the tomb. It's considered the tomb because it's the word corpus callosum is in the very word. So corpus means dead, so when you're dead, you're in a tomb. These are all metaphors because the war that's going on is going on inside of our head. So our chrism and Christos, both Greek words. Okay? And yes, both are Greek words. And they are actually closely related. Related to what? The chrism, give me a second. Oil mingled with balm, a sacred ointment consecrated. A sacred oil, ointment, consecrated and used in churches, church rites. Why? Because I keep telling you that they're externalizing everything in the Bible. Okay? This has nothing to do with what the church is doing. The chrism is a sacred ointment that is produced in the corpus callosum. Okay? Now here's the thing. We also have the Christos. Okay? Is a Christian. A Christos is a Christian. Okay? A believer in the follower of Christ. Okay? That's why you have Christ and Christos. So the Greek words translate into English is Christ, but I showed you that chrism is a sacred oil. And the sacred oil, dimethylene tryptamine, okay, a powerful and naturally occurring psychedelic compound of the tryptamine family. So this is what is being produced. This oil right here is what's produced in the corpus callosum. And it's like it fires off between the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, which fire off neurons. Electricity, voltage, whatever, inside your head, it fires it off. And when it hits this oil, it pops off an illusion. What you're creating in this world. Because I keep trying to tell you that everybody is looking out there and thinking that that's the world out there, and there isn't nothing out there. Okay? Everything that's happening is happening inside of our minds. We are projecting the world out there through our lenses. So now, remember the Christos, all right? Here, Revelations chapter 13, verse 18, Bible Hub. Here's a call for wisdom. Let the one with insight. Okay, wisdom is feminine, bro. Folks, it's insight and skill. Human or divine. Wisdom comes from a spiritual base. Humans are spiritual. Divine are fallen, because you have D-I-V-I in the very word divine. Okay? Keep telling you that we're under a spell with the word. So Christos translate to Christ, and divvy means to divvy up. Oh. A dive, sudden attack or swoop. To dip, submerge. Okay? Past tense death. Proto-Germanic. Sea deep. So, this is why you have divide, D-I-V-I, and divide. Because it means to divvy up. So the spirits in the spiritual realm that are created now, there's no hosts, there's no bodies, there's no way to teach the spirits right now. He's got to put the spirits inside of something and then give the rules to the spirits, not the flesh suit. Or we're not learning anything to the flesh. He's teaching our souls, folks. Okay? And Christianity and Catholics and everything else are all teaching you materialism. They have materialized everything. I'm making my points to you to prove that Jesus is 666. It's not just Jesus, because Jesus is Christos. Christ is Christos. And Christos in English gematria is 666. That flag right there in front of your face, why do you think they have Iran, Jerusalem, and America right there? And when you see the stars in America, this is where they get their movie, The 50 Shades of Grey. Because the United States are gray occupants that have stolen the land. Okay? 50 Shades of Grey. When you add blue and red together, you get purple. This is a representation of a royalty flag. Okay? This is why you have the star. This has been the Star of David, the Star of Jerusalem. What else? Star of Rimfram, and one other, Judah, David, and Israel. So you have 6 points, folks, on this flag. Triangle has 3 points. 2 triangles have 6 points, and you have 6 stars, triangles within the star itself, and then you have a 6-sided hexagon. Okay? The reason why these 3 flags are here together is because they're showing you that this is a hive. Okay? Do people get killed at war when these things take place? Yes, people die. But they're lied to about the reasons why. We went over to Iraq. We found Saddam Hussein 7,000 miles away in a hole, brought his ass back to the United States, and then sent him back to Iraq for the people to try him in Iraq, and we killed him. The same thing we did with Obama. The same thing that we do with everybody that we don't like the way they're running the world. If I had 100,000 people, they'd kill my ass too. Right now, I'm just this little old twat to them. I'm just a little fly on a piece of shit to them. But guess what, man? They're the pieces of shit. So I'm on them. This is what I'm doing. I'm exposing them. I am a very powerful being today because of what I've learned. I know what I have said is, what I've learned is factual. Okay? So these 3 flags are together because they're all in it, in unity with one another. Okay? These are the 3 main seculars of religion in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. They're all in it together. Okay? It's all about population control. It's about killing people and keeping the numbers low enough that, you know, we couldn't rise up against them right now because they own all the militaries. You know, they own everything that there is. You couldn't produce or get together a group of your own. All the marches you see in the streets with the LGBTQ&A and the BLM and, you know, the pregnancies and the pro-abortions and, you know, the prescriptions and the drugs and health care, all those things they're put out there because this is the world that they want. You understand that now God creates this plane of existence, and there's animals and birds and fish in the sea, and everything's walking around. Now, the birds and the animals, they understand their nature, where they come from. They know that they're of a spiritual being and they're created spirit. They know that. Okay. But also, remember what I showed you here. Do everything with scriptures. I'm so damn good today. So, the Gentile are the nations. The Gentile are the troops of animals. Okay? So when God creates this plane of existence, he creates a Gentile animal, which at this point in time knows nothing. It's just like a cow and a pasture walking around eating the food off of the tree and, drinking from the rivers, eat, shitting, and sleeping. Okay? Now, this realm, the earth, was created so it could be destroyed. You see, the Supreme Spirit is wanting us to find ascension through our spiritual connection with the higher mind, because everybody down here is living in the lower mind. Okay, they're all in the cerebellum. So this is where you get your Elohim. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, Bible Hub. So it's this God here, Elohim. Okay? Elohim is plural of Eloah. Gods in the ordinary sense, ordinary gods, but specifically used of the Supreme Creator. So the Elohim are gods, but they're lower gods, and they're many gods, and they are both good and evil. They are the knowledge of good and evil. They're the ones that come down here. Okay, now everything's created. All the angels, when it says in Job that when God laid the foundations of the earth, the angels sang for joy. When God laid the foundations of earth, the angels sang for joy. While the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Excuse me. When the morning star sang together, when the morning stars sang together, remember what? Satan swept with his tail 1/3 of the stars from the host of heaven. Okay, if you want to be a rock and roll star or a Hollywood star, okay, you don't get that position, you won't get hired, and you definitely won't stay on if you don't understand that you become a scripted person for them. You do exactly what they tell you to say. You are no longer your own person. Okay, you're under a curse at that point in time, because in order to be a star, you have to make yourself an idol. Okay? Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, Bible Hub. You shall not make for yourself an idol. An idol. An image from an idol. Hold on. Wait, what? Idol, huh? Wait. Hold on. Let me, an image. An idol is an image. God Elohim, here used for the glory of the Supreme Creator, created a man in his own image. An image is an idol. I'm going to have to go to one of my older ones again. I hate it. They used to say right there, a phantom, to shade a phantom. So we've been shaded, our soul, our spirit has been shaded in a flesh suit from the fall and cast into the lower mind of the cerebellum. Okay? Balsomo is an image. Also, to Salim, spelt backwards, is to molest. And because they do a lot of spellings, forward, backwards, upside down. So, especially an idol. Hey, they put it back in there. Okay? A phantom is an illusion. A phantom is an illusion. Okay? And an illusion is 666. Wow. An illusion is 666. So, what's that telling us then? This God here that creates himself in an image of God, creates himself a male and a female. Where the hell did you go, bitch? I didn't close you. Oh, duh. An image creates himself in an image, okay? This is the key for stuff for you to start understanding. So God Elohim creates himself, he creates a man in his own image. So God, over here we had, let us make mankind in our image. This is plural, okay? Christians will teach you that this is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But Jesus never says the Father and I and Holy Spirit are one. Now, does he? Show me one time in the Bible where you ever hear Jesus say that him and the Father and the Holy Spirit are one. He doesn't say it. Okay? Now, in his own image, in the image of God, crucial stuff to understand here, he created himself. Kaboom. This God here created himself in an image, which is a phantom and illusion. This image is to shade an idol. It's an idol, especially an idol. So that God, Elohim, was permitted. Revelations chapter 13, verse 15, Bible Hub. The second beast. Oh, wow. Hold on here. Second beast was permitted. So now we got two beasts. One beast was permitted. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. Well, who's that? Who gave the breath? Okay, hold on. So, giving breath to life in the Bible is only used 4 times, folks. Okay? Genesis 2:7. This is the Lord God. The Lord is Yahweh, God Elohim. So it is Yahweh Elohim. So if it's an Elohim, then guess what? See, I've made mistakes along this journey, folks, and I got to correct these errors that I've made. Okay, I'm just now starting to understand that the spiritual war that exists inside our minds. It doesn't exist any other way. So the Lord God here, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, Bible Hub. The Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, from Haya, self-existent or eternal. Okay? Jewish national name of God. my biggest question is I like to ask is if the story of Noah's Ark existed and 8 people got on that ark, and they had a covenant with Yahweh, the Most High, who was going to flood the earth and kill everything, wouldn't have they all been worshiping one name on that ark and came off of that ark worshiping one name off that ark? And they would have passed that name down to their children that were on that ark. When the ark story isn't even real. 8 people couldn't have fed 3 million animals, folks. Okay? They couldn't have cleaned the shit and the urine and the piss. The ark would have become stale with the air. Told that one window existed at the very top of the ark, so we know they ain't shoveling the shit off the ship or the boat. The whole story falls apart. People say, well, he didn't take full-grown animals. He took baby animals. He took little baby animals. I don't care. Okay, let's just say that they were able to feed all the animals on the ark. Okay? And they took the small animals like everybody's saying. Guess what you've done? You've domesticated the animals. So now they ain't going to know how to hunt because you domesticated them. Okay? You feed an animal for a year, they expect you to feed them the rest of their life. So that doesn't work. So Yahweh is God of Israel. It's called Jehovah in the province of Jerusalem today. Israel is God of Israel is 666. Okay? Nurhanseg, Inky's sister. A lot of people believe that they're descendants of the Anunnaki. And she is 666. So I've put a lot of connections together for people to understand the reality of this world that we're living in. New York, in English gematria, is 666. Donald Trump's born in New York. Donald J. Trump, without the vowels in his name. See, this is why it takes wisdom, folks. You just don't get the answers. You don't get to type Jesus in and get the answer. Okay? You got to do a little bit of research and a little bit of etymology, man, and start, wow, okay, I didn't know that Chrism was Christos and Christos was Christ. But I just showed you Christos in English gematria is 666. So Donald J. Trump in English gematria is also 666. He was born in New York. New York is 666. Genesis chapter 11, verse 4, Bible Hub. Come, they said. Come, the Gentile said. Let us build a city for ourselves with a tower that reaches to the heavens, that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the earth. Doesn't Donald Trump own Trump Tower? I do believe he does. So that's a big connection for you. So am I saying that Donald Trump is the man of perdition? No. These gods that have written themselves into the Bible are the man of perdition. You got to understand that 666 is simply a riddle, folks. It's about deciphering the riddle and understanding what you are. You are a beast. Okay? You hear it on the ninja shows where they go all around America and shit, and they do those little ninjas. They go through their tracks and the obstacle courses. American Ninja. Yeah, so those guys right there, man. They're just They're just all over the place. So over here, Jesus is telling, he's talking to his disciples, and he's telling, I guess, the Israelites, stay out of the towns of the Samaritans, don't go in their towns. He says, do not give dogs what is holy. Don't give Gentile, because dogs are animals. Okay? Dogs are troops of animals. Dogs are flights of locusts. Dogs are the United Nations. Dogs are demon spirits in a flesh suit that don't have the spirit of truth on them. They are liars that live in the ego. They make money. They live in a capitalistic system, a political system, a democratic system. IC represents icky. Icky is a virus. Okay. Don't throw your pearls. Don't throw your parables before the swine. Don't give them this book. If you do, they're going to trample the book under their feet and then turn and tear you to pieces, Israel. Your God has been handing you your ass since the beginning of time. This plane of existence has been eternal war since the beginning of time. So now Yahweh is short form Yah. Yah, short form Yahweh. Yah is Lord. Yah is Lord. Yahweh is Lord. Yahweh is God of Israel. Lord is Yahweh. Yah is Lord. Short form Yah for Lord is Yahweh. Yah is 666. So that's two names now I've connected of the Israel God. Yahweh or Yahweh and Yah. Now, let's see. Also, okay. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what I wanted. Give me a second. So I started this lesson out with Obama showing you that we all have a reptilian mind. That is the animal inside of us. It's the lower mind. That is the cerebellum. Okay, when we take in other definitions, so as I've said many times, cerebellum brings you to parabellum. And parabellum is war. Okay, because our egos, we are at war with our higher self, the God brain, because we're all eternal beings of the Supreme Spirit. So because we're fallen angels. This is why everybody on this world hates God. And you can just tell too, man. I mean, I don't have anything against the LBGTQ&A. I don't have anything against the BLM. I don't have anything against White Lives Matter. I don't have anything against anybody that's out there doing their thing. What I need people to understand is that we are born into individuality. This God that creates himself in an image, and in the image of God he creates him, self, properly self, a demon, demonstrative sense. Demonstrative means the flow of compassion and tenderness and love, but you have the very word demon in demonstrative sense. And I've been telling you guys that the language we speak is a double speaking language. We're taught that it has one meaning, but it has the exact opposite meaning of words within the words we're being taught. So this God Elohim creates himself in an image, making him a representative figure, which is an illusion. The illusion is 666. A phantom is a ghost. A ghost is the spirit of the dead. This is why we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We shall fear no evil, for God's staff comforts me. What? God's staff, huh? Yeah, externalizing everything. God's staff, the way I see it, God's staff is probably his, because down here on this plane of existence, you have men that worship their penises. They do, literally. So when we come to dictionary.com, the definition of self with the L, who's an elf, who created himself an elf of the L, a person or thing referred to with respect to his individuality. So we are given our individuality, and at the same time we have our individuality, we are divided up and dropped into duality, both good and evil. Without the good and the evil, we can't be taught as souls or spirits. The Supreme Creator had to do it the way he had to do it. Okay, I don't know everything, but I have a pretty good idea about the creation story and what's going on. Better than anybody else that's teaching you. No question about that. I leave, each week I leave hundreds of comments. I spend a great deal of time, probably 2-3 hours a day, going and listening to videos, short videos and stuff, and then responding to Christian videos and sharing my content with them. And boy, believe me when I tell you, I get called a heretic. I get called the demon. I get called the devil. Why? Because I know the truth. That's why. Say, evil calls good evil because we know the truth. So when you start sharing the truth, you're told that you're a heretic. You're a liar. No one wants to hear this content. Nobody wants to hear the information that I share with them. They're all blinded. They can't see the truth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 25, Bible Hub. Again, God, Elohim, who's used of the supreme God, made the beasts of the field or the earth, each according to their kinds. Here's your beasts. Okay? Oh, let me show you something else too. So, if Israel, folks, was the Israelites, and they're from that providence of the world, wouldn't have the Israelites always had their own piece of land out there? So the modern state of the Israel was officially put on the map May 14th, 1948. Wow, 48? That's only 75 years ago. I wonder. So here, how long has Palestine been on the map? Over 2 millennia. Originating from the ancient Egyptians and Greek reference to the southern Levant. Politically, it has transitioned from an ancient Rome province, there it is, Syria, Palestina, to a region or modern map during British Mandate. Oh, there it is. There's them fucking names. There's them fucking British again. And everybody's fucking shit. Them fucking rotten piece of shit English motherfuckers. Not all of them. Just the ones that know what they are and continue their evil. Those are rotten pieces of shit. People that steal people's lands and slaughter people and then take the land and completely strip it of every resource that there is are demons. Okay? Bible says if you love the world, you're an enemy to God. That can't be the Supreme Creator telling you that. He created this place. Then the Supreme Creator is telling you that if you love this world, then you're an enemy to him. I guess that's why they're tearing the freaking thing down. I guess that's why they cut down thousands of acres a day, each freaking day, and cover the world with a black top and paint it blue. Here. What year was it that Israel was put on the map? 1948. That's just right after World War II, folks. And guess what? This follows the United Nations. That's the beast of the field. Israel don't even belong in that fucking providence. It's not their land. Also, look here. The nation was quickly recognized by the United States of America. Yeah. Recognized from the United States of America. Jerusalem. And this is why you have USA in Jerusalem, and also you have Salem in Jerusalem. And Salem, is Salem known for witch hunts? Yes, Salem, Massachusetts is globally famous for the 1692 witch hunts and trials. Now, folks, when I put all this shit together for you, my stuff can't be denied. You deny this kind of information, you're an idiot. You're a devil. It's that simple. Pilar means to plunder. P-I-L in Pilar, pilgrimage, means to plunder. P-I-L. They added the L here, and they gave you pill form. Related to pillory, as in robbery or plunder. P-I-L-L and P-I-L both make the exact same sound. Okay, so grim is Old Germanic, and it means fierce, cruel, and savage, severe, dire, and painful. I guess that's what those people went through when we came over here and started slaughtering them and stealing their land, huh? Unwanted guest. An age is a lifetime eternity. Vital force, lifetime, it's years, a period. A period of time. So the very word pilgrimage, when it's broken up into all of its syllables, means a plundering, uninvited age from the British colonials. And that's why you have colon in the colonials, and that's why they're European all over the freaking world. Okay? So, pilgrimage means the act of journeying through a strange country to a holy place. A long journey undertaken by a pilgrim from pilgrimage. Pilar, pill, pilar, plunder, grim, uninvited age. An uninvited age. Pilgrimage means a plundering, uninvited age. Where? What did I just say? What did I just read to you? Salem is globally famous for the 1692 witch hunts and trials in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. What year was Massachusetts designated into the United States? February 6th, 1788. It is the 6th state to ratify the United States. So there's a lot of creepy, spiritual, nasty shit going on in Massachusetts. We landed on Plymouth Rock. Just the word Massachusetts. Massacre. Massa. Destroy the mass. Witch hunts. 666. Now, I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I don't know a damn thing. But I can tell you this. If Americans don't pull their heads out of their rear ends, and I'm not mad at you, I'm just telling you plainly with an admonishment. You will never transcend to the higher mind of the Supreme Creator. You will remain in this false reality, because that's what an illusion is. It is a false impression on reality. When we look at the word illusion, what do you see? First of all, you see ill. Okay? And I see Scion. And Sion's supposed to be God's chosen children. So the illusion is coming from Scion. Scion are those that are in Jerusalem today, but I'm going to confirm that right here. Well, I came here, I didn't really get the answer that I wanted, but it's funny that I'm going to show it to you, that 66% of the district population of roughly 1.1 million are largely considered Zionists, but it is not. It is more accurate to describe them as Israel patriots. Or Patreon. How about that one? Patreon. Didn't. Patron. Patron. Okay. See. Over here. Ah, damn it. Sorry. Patron, a lord, master, one who protects, supports, or encourages. Like if you support America, you're a patron. Okay? You're a patsy. You're a pat. Tron. Keep telling people we live in a simulation. You guys don't want to listen to me. Tron. Word forming element and compounds coined in physics having to do with electronics. Electronics. Give me 1 second. I'm going to close these boxes out. This scene here in Tron is riddled with 666. It's riddled with truth bombs. And this movie was made back, enters the game grid, 1982. Okay? 40 years ago, folks. 44 years ago. They were showing you this information. Because Hollywood is showing you the truth. And media has Dia in it. And Dia is a goddess. And this is why you have diamonds are a girl's best friend, Dia and diamonds. And little idioms like this, diamonds are a girl's best friend, was one of the first separators of it. Right there, it says that a woman, and you hear them say it all the time. Who said that? Marilyn Monroe? Diamonds are a girl's best friend? Okay, so there's your access code 6. That's your first 6. Now, there's a machine that's talking to him right now. He's trying to find out some information. You shouldn't have come back, Flynn. That's the computer now talking to Flynn. Hey, it's the big master control program everybody's talking about. Sit right there and make yourself comfortable. That's the machine that said that. He's talking to him. And there's your second 6. 1, 2, 3 represents 6. Okay, now he's coming up and he says, this is what I'm wanting you to see right here. It's coming up. That. In case you guys don't know what that is what they've been working on at CERN. forever. Okay? They're slamming protons into one another at light speed, and they're creating fractures in the veil when they do that, because atoms don't touch one another. They are vibrating frequencies, and they vibrate close to one another, and this is what heats up our images, because we are made of atoms. Okay, that's why the first man, Adam, was created. So this is CERN right here. This one portal right here. Okay, give me a second here. You see that? That's Jesus coming out of CERN, out of a portal. You guys see the movie Deja Vu? That's CERN right in front of you. This is what they're showing you. They're showing you that the woman's womb, this is a representation of the woman's womb, right? That's what it looks like to me, 2 legs in the air. This is what's-her-name's concert. Okay? But that there is CERN. So what are they telling us? That this equipment here, this equipment, this technology, these devices, that's what this is. It's a device. Okay? Lest Satan should get an advantage over us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Okay? That's the picture of what I just showed you. And this one is Joshua. This is a black Jesus here. A black Jesus coming through a portal. Coming through a portal. Looks like he's coming from hell, huh? Looks like he's coming from fire there. And Jesus coming from a portal. That there is this here, Jesus. And that is where I made these connections. Come on, open up. Okay, you guys see it? Right there. That right there is this right here. They're telling us the truth in the artwork too. Artwork is a lot of truth bombs taking place. Here we have the hyperbola in the Torah field. Okay, in context of the Torah, the Hebrew letter nun, or nun, looks like a fish. In ancient Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, okay, this fish right there, they're showing you a fish. This fish right here is this fish right here in our Torah field. The Bible that's the Torah is called the Torah because of our torsos. Okay? The Torah field. We have a Torah field. We are energy. We are pure energy captured inside of a flesh suit which was created as a slave. The God that created the flesh suit, the Supreme Spirit that created the flesh suit with nothing on its mind. It was without knowledge of anything. And then Satan, what did he want? He wanted to rule. Why? Because Satan knows good and evil. Why does Satan know good and evil? Because when he went to God and he said, hey, you know, I love the angels sang in heaven when the foundations of the earth were laid. I want to rule that place down there. So Satan, Shaitan, the devil, the beast, the dragon, the one that was thrown down, all these definitions for the adversary, And that's what it means, an adversary. But I don't see Satan as an adversary to God. I see Satan as a tool to do God's work. Now, you are you and I am me, and somehow I don't know how this part of the creation works, but we're given our individuality, dropped into duality, and we're into duality because the source is teaching us that the flesh is corrupt. Okay, people aren't recognizing this. There's literally people out there that are teaching you that pornography is not a big thing. You know, it's not a big thing to be. Well, do you understand how pornography is made? This is why I say one sentence on an atheist show and they'll kick me off in a second, because the question I put to them all of a sudden goes ding to their moral code, and they realize at that very moment that they can't talk with me anymore because I figured this out. I ask questions that they can't answer. The guy told me that Santa Claus wasn't real. I said, I know Santa Claus isn't real, so why the hell is the whole freaking world in America lie to their children about a fat man in a Santa suit, black and red, which are Satan's colors, coming down the fireplace, and the anagram for Santa is Satan, and Santa Claus is 666. You guys are just completely off. I've learned the truth. It's right here at this channel. You know, I ask people to share my content. Okay? So, it's time to snap out of your American dream. What does the American dream mean? National ethos that anyone, regardless of background, can achieve upward social and economic mobility, rooted in the Declaration of Independence. Its promises that hard work, determination, and initiative allow every individual dropped into duality to attain a better life, financial prosperity, and personal fulfillment. Well, yeah, when all that I just read for you there, that's for the slave masters, the ones that have enslaved you. That doesn't apply to you. You understand? You have to give something up to be a political actor. You got to give something up to be a rock and roll star. You got to give something up to be a Hollywood star. That which you give up is your soul. If your soul has the spirit of truth on it, and you're walking around with the truth, and then you go and sign your name to a contract with Hollywood, your spirit at that point in time is in some serious problems. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, I'm going to cut out of here. Everybody have a great day. Be blessed and safe. We live among demons, folks. Okay, you got to understand that. Demons are very, very real. A daibuk is a malicious wandering spirit or dislocated soul of the dead person that enters and possesses a living host. A living host. Oh, wow. That takes me to 1545 Corinthians. Let's see. Bible Hub, where you at? So it is written, the first man Adam, a first man Adam became a living being. The living being's alive, bro. Alive. Because you have Li. To be living is a lie. Okay? We're spiritual beings trapped in a flesh suit. This world wants you to think that you're flesh. It wants you to think that you're carnal. It doesn't want you to understand that you're a spiritual being. The last Adam. What? First Adam, last Adam. A life-giving spirit. Duality. The first Adam created on the 6th day of creation. The last man, Adam's the second creation. This one has the breath of life on him. The other one's created in an image. It's not even real. They're gods that have made themselves images. They're all your Hollywood stars and those you sing and sit with at America's Got Talent and America's Idol and all these shows, man. You are worshiping other human beings. That's what mankind wants you to do. They want you to worship the flesh. They want you to love the flesh. They want you to forget that you're a spirit, man. They don't want you to know that you're a spiritual being, that you have more power than they do. They're trying to hide this information that I share. So if you watch this video, man, please like and share, man. Much love. This is White Raptor News Ministries.